Hey there, fellow adult collectors and nostalgia buffs of all ages, because this is another fading nostalgia. Let me just fumbling over myself. Hey there, fellow adult collectors and nostalgia buffs, nostalgia people of all ages, because this is, of course, a fading nostalgia video and part of our series of discussions of things of yesteryear, what once was, as we live in a completely different world from where we grew up. It's like we woke up on another planet one morning and we don't know what the hell happened. And that's kind of where I am with a lot of it. And that includes today's topic, customer service, which was a recommendation. You know, we had a viewer. I don't remember who it was. No, I'm kidding. It was Johnny Future. Hello, Johnny.
Hey, Johnny.
Johnny Future has been with us for a long time. Johnny Future, nice guy. But he had that recommendation. I think that was because he had some head-butting incidences recently with a couple of autograph companies. And he was not happy, not satisfied, and they don't care.
No.
They don't care, and they didn't do what he wanted, and he was frustrated, and I think that's probably why, and correct me if I'm wrong, Johnny, I think that's why he brought it up, but I know exactly where he's coming from, because we see it in all walks of life. Customer service is dying. It's a dying entity. No matter how much they tell you, it's all about you.
No. And we've talked about it a lot. Every time we go into the store, something will happen, and we'll always say, you know, it's just not the way it used to be. You can't ask a person anything. You go into Walmart, Home Depot, Joann's, Goodwill. It doesn't matter what store it is.
They don't know anything.
Store. Where is this? You know, what is that? They looking it up on the phone on Google. And it's like, I did that before I came here. And it used to be a time, like we'll use Best Buy for an example.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's a great example.
You go to Best Buy, 20 years ago, and you said, okay, I want to go to Best Buy. I want to buy a stereo system. You go to Best Buy.
What can you tell me about this?
You ask the person about, hey, I'm looking for a stereo system. They ask you 100 questions. What size, price range, the style of your room. You know, you want surround sound, all kind of stuff. And then they help you narrow it down. And then they say, okay, for what you want, these 3 are fit. And then you say, okay, well, tell me about this one. They can tell you everything. Now you go to Best Buy, we want a surround sound system. It's over there.
Yeah. And then when you ask questions, they go to the monitor.
Yeah.
And they punch it up and they just read what comes up on the prompt.
And you did that before you came in there.
Yeah, I could do that.
Yeah,
I could do that there, because you know, you open it up on your phone, Best Buy, and they're basically literally reading what it says on Best Buy's own website, which I can look at myself. You're not helping me at all. And we talk about this a lot in the hardware store. You know, we go to Lowe's or Home Depot or wherever, and because some of you have seen the restoration video that we had on here, because you know, we have our museum, our little private museum here, and we built it from scratch because the bottom level of the house was trashed. It was destroyed from water damage, and so I, you know, pulled out the walls, pulled out had to trench the outside of the house and reseal it, and dehumidify the house, and put in new floor, new walls, new electrical, and I did the majority of the work myself.
Yeah, like 95%.
Yeah, and so spent a lot of time going to the hardware store, and you ask them questions, and I joke about it, and you probably heard me say this before. You ask somebody something, and they ask someone who asked someone who asked somebody else who might know somebody who can answer the question. And even like, I don't know, 10, 15 years ago, if you went to Lowe's or something like that, and you ask somebody about screws, and they could tell you about 40 different kinds of freaking screws.
Yeah, they'll tell you exactly what kind of screws you need. Well, what do you need it for? Oh, I'm doing some framing work in my basement. Well, you need this, not the screws. You need this thing. This will work out better.
This depth.
And then, then they'll suggest, hey, what kind of tool are you using? Oh, I'm just using a hammer. Well, have you thought about an impact wrench or, well, not a pneumatic, the nail gun?
Yes.
Have you thought about that? Oh, no, I never thought about that. Then they'll go into that. No, not no more. You can't find a person that
every
knows.
section had an expert.
Yeah.
And people are, they have this thing now, this act your wage. Don't even get me started.
It's work your wage.
Yeah, well, work your wage. That's it, work your wage. Because, it's a take on act your age. So I misspoke that.
Yeah.
I pulled a Hillary Clinton on it.
Oh,
but work your wage. But those guys, because they had a better work ethic, they were getting paid less and doing a lot more.
Mm-hmm.
Giving the customers a lot more because it meant something to them that, okay, you know what, I'm getting paid this, but it means something to me to do a good job. It doesn't mean anything to anybody to do a good job anymore. They don't care. And it spills over into the collector's market too.
Mm-hmm.
Some of you may have seen my Mezco Nightmare video because, I collected the Mezco and I backed off of buying Mezco a lot because I had a ton of them. And I backed off a lot after the fiasco with them shipping it to the wrong address and then basically blowing me off. Because I show the emails and I show the discussion where they keep answering a different question than the one I was asking them. They weren't paying attention to me at all. You sent it to the wrong person in a different state and you're not taking responsibility for it. I actually had to, and if you haven't seen that video, go back and look for it, or maybe I'll remember to put a link down below if you never saw it. I called the police in that state, in Topeka, Kansas, and because that person received the package and signed for it, they actually signed for it, so it was technically stolen, and the Topeka police were willing to go there and talk to that person based off of that, and he turned the package over to them, and they actually sent it to me. So the Topeka, kudos to them for going through that much trouble. I guess I didn't have much to do that day, but I appreciate it just regardless that they actually made an effort. And Mezco never took any responsibility for it.
No.
None. And that's just poor customer service. CGC. I do the CGC. I just did an unboxing. There was an error in one of the submissions. It wasn't my error because when you submit stuff, they give you a printout and you copy it off, and then you look at their website months later when you're wondering where the hell your submission is, and it says on there, it'll have the rundown, and there was an error in that rundown that did not match my original print off sheet, and I was like, that's not right. Let me contact these people. I must have made a dozen attempts at contacting them to ask them about it. They never once responded. Never. But fortunately, the person who graded it caught it and changed it back to what I originally had on my chart when they did the grading, fortunately.
Yeah.
So apparently that guy looked and said, oh, that's not right. Let me change this. But he changed it back to what I originally put. You couldn't answer an email? You can't answer an email. I swear I emailed them. I probably exaggerate a little saying a dozen times, but I'm sure it was at least 9 times that I sent them an email. You can't respond back. That's insane.
But I think a lot of companies, too, they kind of try you. Oh, let me see how far I can go with this person. Because this happened to me with Comcast. We were living in Illinois.
Yeah.
I was, before David got there, I was in an apartment. And I left the apartment and we had got a house. And I transferred my Comcast service from the apartment to the house.
Yeah.
The guy came and, disconnected the stuff to take it to the other house. But they upgraded the modem. And, I was like, hey, can you turn the modem in? He was like, yeah. And then when he installed it in the house, he upgraded it and gave me a new modem. And I was like, you going to turn the modem in? He was like, yeah, I'll turn it in for you. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Months go by. What are you doing?
Showing them what was written on the cup, in case somebody was curious.
They weren't. Months go by. I get a call from Comcast. You owe us over $1,000. I'm like, for what? There was like, for that modem. You was supposed to turn in the modem. I was like, no, you crazy. And I hung up because I didn't believe it. They called me back a couple of months later. You owe us, now it's more. I was like, wait a minute, what are you talking about? The modem, you switch modems. We never received the old modem.
Their $100 modem.
Yeah, I was like, no, you can go ahead and stop right now, because the person came to my house. They took the modem. I asked him, I was like, are you going to turn in the modem? He said, yes. You know who came to my house because he's an employee. You have his employee ID number. You know where the modem is, because if anytime you call, they got your number and they said, we'll send a signal to the modem, and it resets it.
Yeah, it has its own signature ping.
Everybody knows that.
Yeah.
And I said,
not everybody.
If you turn the modem off, the person that has it is going to call you and you'll find your modem. I will not pay this bill. So she said, okay, let me call you back in a couple of days. They called me back in about 2-3 days. Okay, we have the modem. We're going to credit your account to the amount. It was, like I said, it was like $1,400. And I said, okay, so now I don't have to pay for service at all. Soon as that ran out, I got rid of Comcast and went to another company. But it's like, how many other times did they do that to somebody? And that person was, got flustered, oh my God, and just paid it. That kind of thing happened. Again, you go to the grocery store. We went to the grocery store the other day, and there was some meat, and I wanted the butcher to cut it. And I'm like, hey, can you cut this up? No. We can't open the package. I'm like, why not?
Because they're not butchers anymore. They don't know what they're doing.
Yeah.
It's not like when we were kids and that guy behind the counter did everything.
Yeah. And all of that runs into customer service. When you go to GameStop, you're asking about a game, the person doesn't know anything about the game. They don't know where it is or whatever.
Or they need the guy, because a lot of times at GameStop they have that one guy who's like a video game aficionado and he knows freaking everything about the new games coming out. But a lot of people, they don't know. Yeah.
So that's why I could never work at GameStop, because I don't play games. And I've been there before, and a new game came out or a game is out, and they ask the person behind the counter, have you played this game? And they say, yeah, I've played it. And then they start talking about the game.
Mm-hmm.
They ask me.
That's actually good customer service.
Yeah. You ask me. I'm like, look, dude, I don't play that. I only know where it is on the shelf, and it's over there.
And a part of it is how impersonal a lot of things have gotten. Because you have the automatic checkout now. Yeah. Everything is scanned. One thing that's I noticed, because I used to do cashier work, because I worked for Store 24, which was a convenience store in Boston, like in the late 80s, early 90s. And I worked at Cumberland Farms. Yeah, Cumbies. They call it Cumbies in Boston. Don't ask. I never called it that, for real. Cumberland Farms, that's what it says on the sign. Worked for Christie's Market before Christie's was bought out by 7-Eleven. Different convenience stores off and on back in the 90s. And when it's all 10 key, back in the day, you had an actual price gun and you put a price on something and they brought it to the register and you did this and totaled it up. 10 key. Yeah,
you got to do all that.
Yeah, you got to do that, because you have your keyboard. And then over here, these numbers that no one knows how to use, that's your 10 key. I could do that with my eyes closed because of the cash registers. But, like this.
I can't believe you're doing that.
Yeah, so that's right. I'm going to do that all day.
For the world to see.
Yeah, not the whole world, just a few people. But when it was the cashier handled all of that and you had a problem, a price was wrong, you had to make an adjustment, you had to do a discount, and you're doing it yourself, everything was smooth as glass. Now,
you had to call in a price
somebody.
check. Can I get a price check on aisle 5?
Yeah, or you've got to, oh, that price is wrong. Now you got to call the manager to come and take it out, or make an adjustment, or to adjust the change. They don't trust you to do anything because we're doing it for our inventory. They're not doing it for inventory.
No.
They're doing it because they don't trust the cashier. Okay,
Yeah.
let me just tell you that right now. They're afraid that cashier is going to underring, and underringing is a term that means they're either sneaking and pocketing some of the money out of the till, or they're allowing somebody to slip by at the register. Pay attention anytime you're in any store, especially a big box store like Walmart. Where's the majority of cameras? It's over the cashiers and over the cashier stations, because the biggest Department 100, I think they used to call it, the biggest theft occurs at that register, and it's usually an employee. Forget all the shoplifting. That's all. It happens, but it's not nearly as bad as employee theft.
I know in Kroger, because we use coupons a lot, sometimes the coupon don't go in, and depending on who you got, they'll shut the whole line down. Oh, you don't have this item. And I'm like, we just scanned it across,
Because they're just going like this, and they're not paying attention. When we used to have to do it manually, you had to look at every product. So you were like, you know what, that's right. There was you did have a can of black-eyed peas in there or whatever. You knew.
Yeah.
You knew.
So then you got to search through all your bags and dig it out and show. Oh, okay.
Then they got to turn the light on because the key holder's got to come over and turn the key in the register so that you can type it. You can manually put it in because their system glitched it. Back in the old days, you had a coupon. Again, you would turn the switch to the coupon mode. There was a coupon mode for deductions, and you would manually punch in the value of the coupon.
They manually type it in now.
If a mistake is made, and they have to get the key holder over so that they can unlock it so that you can do it manually.
Yeah, they can't even give you change. Oh, you got to buy something so the drawer would open. It's like, I just need change for a 5.
Yeah, well.
Nope, you got to buy something.
Bad.
Because the drawer won't open unless you buy something. It's like, you can't do nothing anymore.
No. But again, the self-checkouts, which a lot of people resisted for a long time because it was, talking about taking jobs. But it makes it also more impersonal. When you get one person trying to run like 6-8 stations at Walmart, that's very taxing on that individual. I mean, they don't care about you. They're just like, please get out of here.
I don't like the self-checkout because I don't want to do that. So I will wait in line and go through and let the cashier do that, because I'll put one item per bag. Just because. I will.
Oh, my God.
And he hates that, too, because
come on.
I sure will.
I want to combine stuff up.
He like to put everything in one bag.
It'll fit.
Not
yes,
me.
It will. You got to block it.
I got 10 cans of peas, and I'm going to get 10 bags.
You're awful. You know where they get mad, though? Try double bagging it. If you double bag, they'll come over and say something.
Oh, I'm going to start doing that. Put one item per bag and double bag it. But I don't go to the self-check. Now, in Walmart, I will. Because
Walmart's
you have no choice.
Shameful. Sometimes there is no manual cashier.
Yeah.
It depends on where you are and what time of day
it is. But at the grocery store, I don't, because it never rings up right. And then you get a clearance item, and it has 5 barcodes on it, and you ring up the wrong barcode, and, or the clearance barcode never works for some reason. So I go to the cashier, because in the grocery store mainly. Home Depot, I'll go to the self-checkout, because you don't have a choice at Home Depot unless you go to the flower section where the flowers at.
Yeah, if you want to stand in line for a half hour.
Yeah. Yeah, but it's just ridiculous.
Yeah.
Customer service has gone away. The employees no longer know anything about the products. I worked at Radio Shack. back in the 90s, the mid 90s.
You had to know every product in there.
You did. And the
Yeah.
only way to get promoted, you had to take a test, an actual test. You say, okay, I'm ready for promotion. They'll give you these little booklets. And it was about the products in the store. You know, batteries, the TV, a stereo, the phone, whatever. And you studied it. And then when you felt you were ready, you took a test on that item, on phones, electronics, whatever. And if you passed it, then you didn't get a promotion, you got a raise. I said promotion, I meant raise.
Yes.
That's how you got your raise. You had to take the test and you had to know. And people came into Radio Shack and they expect you to know, I need speaker wire, 18 gauge, 16 gauge, 20 gauge speaker wire. You had to know where it was and how to install it. You know, how to hook it up. Or I need speaker wire. Okay, which speaker wire you need. You had to know everything about that stuff. And that's how but not anymore.
No.
You just go to the store. You can barely find a clerk or an employee. And if you find them, they don't want to help you. Oh, I'm on break.
Or they having a conversation.
Yeah, talking about wages and days off.
Yeah, they complaining about their pay, or they complaining about so-and-so got this day off, and I'm supposed to get that day off, and they hit bickering and complaining.
Every time I ask for a day off, they tell me no. You know, stuff like that. Go to Walmart and see 2 employees standing around that cart looking like they picking away, and listen to them talk. It's always about pay, and it's always about their days off.
Yeah, they ain't doing nothing.
They're not sorting through that basket.
Walmart is big enough to hide in, and they hide in there and not do anything.
I would. I couldn't work retail anyway.
Oh, no.
I couldn't. I could not work retail
because
if the
go ahead.
If the price is not on it, I'm not calling nobody. I am not calling. I'm not shutting down the register to find out how much this thing costs. I'm going to type it in. I'm going to type in what I think it is.
A customer service, a part of it, I think it was easy for it to go away because a lot of customers can real jackbutts.
Yeah,
I used to have some of the stuff that people do when they come up to ring out. It'll spoil your mood for the whole day. I've had people do stuff that you wouldn't believe.
No.
Coming up to the register. You ever have somebody? Just as an example, I've had people like at Store 24. They have fruits in there in the morning. You have a customer walk around the store eating a banana that they took, and when they go to cash out, they leave the peel on there. Yeah, I ate that. They paid for it at least, but then they walk away and left the peel on your counter.
That's not bad.
That's awful. You want to clean up after them? You want to clean up after these people?
At least they paid.
It's terrible. Cigarette sales used to drive me nuts. Almost every single person that bought a pack of cigarettes, a fresh pack, it usually hard pack. You know, you get the hard pack and soft pack, right? The hard pack, they always want to do that, and then they flip it and they do it again, and then they peel off that cellophane and then pull that little bit of foil out, crumple it up, dump it on your counter, and leave. Every freaking time. There's a barrel right there, asshole. You're gonna leave your paper.
There ain't nothing to complain about.
Really? Have that happen to you like 40, 50 times in one shift.
The thing that gets on my nerve,
it's so aggravating.
When you go to, it's always at Goodwill or a thrift store.
Okay.
You'll have a person come up there with a basket full of stuff. And then they putting it on the counter one by one. And they looking at it. And they talking about it.
Making that final decision.
Oh, no, I don't want this one. You do that back where you picked it up from.
Or they see the total. And then they're like, oh, well, how much was this? Let me take this off. Now how much is it?
No, people do that in the grocery store. Because when I was growing up, that happened a lot because we didn't have money. So you're like, ooh, okay, wait a minute. We don't have to have this cereal. Take that off. Take this off.
That's annoying for a cashier.
Well, yeah, now you see the total as you go So you can say, oh, wait a minute, let me move this out the way. Okay, go ahead, add this up first.
Stop right there.
Oh, okay, that's good. Yeah, I'll just take this now. You put that back.
Yeah.
Or, oh, no, that's good. You can go ahead and ring the rest of this
But
up.
customers can be very difficult. They're very annoying. Very annoying.
Yeah, but customer service is down the drain, and it's only going to get worse because everything is ordered online, which I hate because you can't see it, you can't test it, you can't
You end up returning
touch
a lot
it.
of stuff.
Yeah, because I know I buy stuff at Amazon. If it don't do what I think it should,
There's a cat.
I
Under us.
send it right back. And you know, you can't call Amazon. You can't even chat. You can't do that. So
And a lot of their shipping lacks customer service as well.
yeah,
You know, the way they pack a lot of things just doesn't make any sense.
now she's gonna rub up
she's
on
gonna
it
rub on the
and-
tripod and knock everything down. There it goes. Come on, kitty.
But anyway, yeah, I don't think customer service is ever going to get better or even come back, especially if you need information about the item. They always tell you, oh, just go to our website. But on the website doesn't tell you anything.
It doesn't tell you what you're looking for.
No, and they always have that frequently asked questions page, and it's never the question you have.
Yeah.
You know,
it's answered by somebody who translated it from another language. So sometimes the syntax doesn't make any damn sense.
yeah. Or if you call, you can't talk to anyone. You have to you got to hit 10 buttons before you actually talk to someone, and then when you finally do, they're not in America. They don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
And then they're going, well, have you tried this? Have you tried that? Yes, I've tried all that.
And they're lying to you when they tell you that they're in the United States. Just a little tip here about when you call. Oh, well, I know that this company does this because their call center is in New York. The call center is in New York, and it routes that call
to India.
Usually India is most often because they all speak English there.
Mm-hmm.
They speak, and there's levels of how good their vernacular is, and they test them. And if you have really good English speaking skills, you can get a high paying job for them in their customer service areas. So your call goes to New York, it gets routed to another country, often India, and when you speak to Mary or Eric, that is their caller ID name, not their real name. That's how that works. I saw a whole documentary on it many years ago.
Yeah.
So yeah, you're not talking to anybody in the U.S. Rarely ever. It's like, I want to talk to someone in America. Yeah, sure. We'll route you. We'll transfer your call right away.
Yeah.
Sure, we will. But yeah, it's faded away. It's gone away. I'm nostalgic for it because it stinks that way now. Come on, kitty. What are you doing to us?
Well, my thing is, I just want information about the product I'm buying. I want to go into the store like you used to. Whatever store it is, clothing, food, electronics, hardware,
Here we go.
wherever you go, and have a question and somebody actually know the answer. Now, I was surprised. We went to Best Buy.
That's right.
It was a few months ago
Best
now.
Buy in another town.
Yeah, and we were buying a surround sound system, and I did not expect this guy to know anything, and he knew everything about surround sound.
Yeah, because he does something. It's like a hobby of his. So
yeah.
he knew, but that's why. But he knew a lot
But
about
he
it.
knew and really helped us. And I told him, I was like, wow, I am shocked. Because I did not expect you to know anything. Because when you come to these stores, you ask a question and they look it up on their phone on the Best Buy website and they have no answer. He was like, oh no, he did YouTube videos, so he knew about cameras, lighting, microphones, the surround sound system. He knew a lot of stuff. You don't get that anymore. And they don't have specialty shops. Like, they used to have Circuit City.
Oh, yeah, that's all gone away.
Yeah, even Radio Shack was kind of like a specialty shop because if you did electronic stuff, hobby type stuff.
Yeah, any
you could go
solid
there.
state type of hobbies or repairs.
Yeah, even a record store, you used to be able to go in there and talk about the latest record or tape that just came out. The
Yeah.
video store, they could tell you about the latest movie that came out
Yeah.
on VCR tape. But
Not,
now,
not anymore.
nope.
And tying back to the online stuff, you got to watch out for the reviews too, because a
Yeah.
lot of the reviews are faked, or they remove the very bad ones.
Yeah,
if you
they
gave
removed
something,
mine.
if you gave if you pan a review, especially on Amazon, Amazon will sell a better status. They will they'll
Yeah.
negotiate with the company to arrange a system by which negative reviews can be wiped out.
Yeah.
So you'll get a 4.5, 5-star review on something,
Mm-hmm.
and it's not that good.
Yeah, because I can't remember what I was buying, but I bought about 4 different things of one item from Amazon.
I
And
think it was a
retu-
Bluetooth speaker, wasn't it?
I don't know what it
Uh-huh.
was, but I returned it and I left bad reviews about it. They stopped posting my reviews.
Yeah.
And then I bought some stuff from a particular company and I left a bad review. You know, one of them wasn't actually bad. It was just saying that the product works, but it wasn't as good as I thought. And I got an email back, hey, you know, can you change that? We'll give you a $10 Amazon gift card.
Yeah, they'll try to bribe you. So you can't trust those reviews.
Yeah, you can't, because they will try to say, hey, you know, we're a young company just starting out.
Sure.
We don't need your little bad review. Can you give us a better one? You know, but yeah, that's how it is. So I don't know. Customer service is
It's
down the drain.
Yeah, it's on the way out. It's got a foot in the grave,
yeah,
and that's a shame.
it is.
It's a shame because it does a disservice to everyone, and that's contagious. Because it's just like how they say if somebody's rude to you, gives you a hard time, you can take that negativity and just almost without realizing it, pass it on to other people.
Yeah.
And then they have something negative put on them, and they'll pass it on to someone else, and so on and so on. And that's pretty realistic.
It is.
It does work that way. So you go and you have a bad customer service experience, and then you're frustrated, and then even if you don't mean to, dump it off on somebody else, and then so on and so on. It's like a domino effect. And it's unfortunate that it's gotten so bad, because it's just one more negative thing in life that we could do without.
Well, and that what you just said, plus the companies don't want customer service anymore. Like, I think stores used to pride themselves on having employees that knew about the product.
Yeah.
They knew about the store. They knew where things were. Now they could care less if the employee knows anything about the products that they're selling.
They just need a warm body.
Yeah, they
And
just
then-
need somebody to stock the shelves and ring the customers out. And that's it.
Yeah.
They don't care about anything. You go to the flower section in Home Depot and Lowe's and Walmart, and the plants are dry and dead.
Yeah,
and,
we've seen a lot of
and
that
everything. And
recently,
Yeah.
especially we've because we do a lot in the yard, and every time we've gone, not just recently also, but because we were out there today a few places, but you go in these garden centers, and this is the last several years. How many of those plants are dead and dying?
yeah,
And they're just dried out. They're neglected. Things have fallen over. When we were it was the Lowe's, wasn't it? The pear trees. They had fallen over in the middle of the stack, and they were tipped over for so long because these trees are about 5-6 feet tall, that they had shifted so that they could go straight up, sunward. And so the pots are like this and the plants are like that because they adjusted for it over
Yeah.
time. It takes a few weeks for that to happen.
Yeah.
Nobody could tip those back to where they were.
No.
And man, they were bone dry. I'm surprised it was still alive.
yeah. And then I go to Walmart to buy some fabric told a girl, I need 3 yards. She doesn't know how to count up a yard. They have the table. The table is already set for a yard.
But they don't have experts in those departments anymore.
I mean, you don't even need to know. Be an expert. Just be like, hey, all you got to do is cut the fabric. This table is a yard. Just stop at this line right here. This is the cutting line. It's a line in the table. All you have to do is follow it.
Yeah, sure.
And so, you know, I asked the girl, hey, can I get 3 yards of fabric? I see her pulling
What's
it out.
a yard?
Laying it out. And I'm like, what are you doing? She was like, no, girl, that's not a yard. And I showed her, you know, I laid it out myself. And if I was a person that was steal, I could have probably got 5 yards. She wouldn't have known.
Yeah.
I was like, this is 3 yards.
Or cared.
Yeah. And I showed her, okay, yeah, and you cut it. She holding the scissors all wrong. I'm like, well, just cut the fabric.
Here, let me do it.
But it's like, when the person that used to work in that section had a knowledge of sewing.
Yes.
They did.
It was required.
Yeah. You in Walmart, I know in Joann's, but now I'm kind of wondering about that too because I went to Joann's.
And they were kind of a little clueless.
Yeah. They knew a little bit more, but they were still kind of like, you still had to tell them a little bit, but they didn't know how to measure out a yard and cut. But I asked them something. I can't remember what, but they didn't know. And I was like, okay, whatever. But back in the 80s and 90s, if you worked in that section, the fabric section in Walmart at least, you had to know something about fabric cutting, sewing, the sewing machine, the threads, the patterns. You had to know something. So if a customer came over there and asked, you know what to do. And if you weren't there, they had to call you and, hey, Connie, come on over here. Somebody needs some fabric. Not anymore. They just put hey, girl, it's your turn to go work in the fabric section.
Yeah.
She don't know nothing.
Or they don't care about what they're doing at all. Do you remember Food Depot? Was it Food Depot?
Oh, Lord, that was the most embarrassing thing. I'm embarrassed, and I don't even know why.
The girls in their conversation and the girl going on break.
The girl, she ringing up the food, eating chicken.
Yeah, she had like
she had like a plate of wings, fingers all greasy.
From I'm trying to remember. Was it Chick-fil-A or something?
I don't know.
And she all dipping it in the thing.
Yeah, I need to hurry up. I
need to go on my break. Ain't time for y'all break. And because the other cashier was mad because she was late from her break. I'm just gonna walk off. And it's like, this is what you allow.
This girl was ringing up customers eating chicken.
All like hot sauce all on her fingers and stuff.
And I'm like, oh my God. And yelling at the customers to hurry up so she can finish eating. And I mean, all of that is customer service. Yeah. All of that is customer service. You see that kind of stuff.
When I was young, they'd fire you for that. It's like, oh, you ain't embarrassing us. Get the hell out of here. And working for a fraction of what people get paid now. And I know people say, oh, well, you know, the cost of living has gone up. It's adjusted, but it doesn't mean it was any easier when minimum wage was $3.35 an hour, you know, and I was working for those wages, and I was working 80, 90 hours a week, 2-3 jobs in the late 80s, early 90s to make ends meet, to pay the rent, you know, to pay for the groceries. And you did what you had to do, and you did a good job, or they would find someone else.
Yeah, they did.
Now it doesn't seem to matter so much.
No, they don't care who's out there. You can look crazy with all kind of colors in your hair and nails so long you can't even ring up anybody. I seen the girl, she got a pencil hitting the buttons to ring up the numbers.
Yeah, because her acrylic nails are so freaking long.
Yeah.
Or, you know, when we were kids, you didn't see people in their pajamas and slippers. Yeah, if you were out in the street in the pajamas and slippers, even in the 90s, a squad car would probably pull up on you to see if you escaped from a local hospital. Are you all right? Do you need anything? Did something happen? Now it's just commonplace to
Yeah.
run around and like people wear onesies with an ass flap.
Well,
and,
at Walmart,
like monster slippers.
They got pajama week.
Or something like that.
Yeah, because you
it's
remember
like,
it was like a whole week at Walmart. All the employees had on pajamas.
Are we all in the second grade now? Are we permanently in second grade? What the hell is that?
But we talking about customer service.
Yeah, dress code I think is part of customer service.
Probably so.
I don't know what to say. It's a sad state of affairs, and it's not getting better anytime soon.
No, I don't see it getting better. I wish it would. I wish companies cared about employees. I mean, not employees, about customers like they once did.
Yeah.
But I don't think the companies care anymore. And employees sure don't care.
No, and the employees, again, that's the work your wage attitude, where it's like, oh, well, show me some incentive. If you got that incentive, you would just want more.
Yeah.
It's about, how do I want to present myself? Thank you, Kitty.
Yeah.
How do I want to present myself? Is there no personal ethics? Do you have no pride?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, it's a low-paying job. Do you not have any pride in it? I hated when I worked at UPS. It's a crappy job, but I still did it to the best of my ability, despite the fact that I didn't like it, and I didn't, and it wasn't a fair wage for the amount of work. I still took the job at that wage because I needed to work at the time. It's like, okay, I'll suck it up, and I'll do the job the best I can, and not screw it up on purpose or whatever. Where's that work ethic gone?
It's gone. It's not taught. Yeah. It's not displayed. So they have no example.
Yeah.
Because it's not displayed. It's not even rewarded anymore. Good quality work ethics, maintaining a good appearance because it reflects on the company. Nope. You got
even reflecting on yourself.
Yeah.
Forget the company. How do I look?
Yeah. Now you got these girls with eyelashes, 10 inches long and nails out the here and hair all kind of colors, like 10 colors in the thing. And it's like, I don't know. I guess we're just sounding old and...
Yeah, well, sometimes change isn't always a good thing. As a matter of fact, often enough, change isn't very good.
I don't know. Some changes are good.
Yeah, but a lot of changes, and it makes people lazy and sloppy. And that's what we're talking about. Not all, but a lot of it does.
Some.
A lot.
I'd like positive change if it can improve your station, improve your life, make things easier, but not cause you to be so lazy that you lose an ability.
Yeah.
Like that commercial with that stupid can opener. Oh, that thing gets on my nerve. They have the can opener, and now you just hit the button.
It's an automatic can opener.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they talking about, now you don't have to do this, and you can free up time. Time to do what? It doesn't even take you 30 seconds to open up. Well, yeah, it shouldn't.
That's another conversation right there.
But it shouldn't take you 30 seconds to open up a can with a manual can opener. Yeah. It'd probably take longer for you to take the automatic one out, set it up, and hit the button, and then wait for it to do all that. You could have been finished.
Yeah.
And they talk about, you're such a busy mom. You that busy you can't open up a can?
Apparently.
Oh, I don't know why I got on that, because that commercial right there gets on my nerve.
Too busy ignoring the kids and texting somebody on her phone.
I can see that if you're a person and you have arthritis really bad.
Some disability.
Or a disability that causes you to not be able to use a manual can opener.
Sure.
But if your two hands work, you able-bodied. But I don't know why I got on that can opener, because that thing bugs me to death. But
That
anyway,
commercial make you mad.
It do.
You know what commercial makes me mad? Is that
All of
one
them.
with the hotel commercial with the little girl and the syrup. Because I'm like, it's like, oh yeah, we'll have a great time at, I don't remember, what was it, Holiday Inn or something. All I can see is that little girl making the biggest damn mess on her plate with her stack of waffles like this, with a ton of fruit on it, and just turning upside down and emptying out the syrup.
And the chocolate syrup, because the first one it was the chocolate syrup.
Yeah.
Then she go to the table, her and Dad, and she emptying out the jar of syrup on the thing, and Dad just sitting there smiling and laughing. You know that girl not about to eat that.
She's gonna have 2 bites out of it and be full. And
no, she's gonna be diabetic. Is what she's gonna be, and all her teeth gonna rotten out.
I would never. That's teaching. And that's another a big pet peeve of mine.
We're talking about customer service.
Wasting food and encouraging that. I would never allow a child to do that.
No, because you're behind going to get one pancake and you eat that, and then if you want some more, you get some more.
Yeah, we will see.
But anyway, we're talking about customer service. Customer service. And how customer service is no longer a thing.
Yeah, it's faded away. It's become a nostalgic thing because we miss it.
Yes.
We miss when that was important. We miss when people had better work ethic, more concerned about their appearance, and the way they looked, the way they smelled, even how they sounded, how they came off. You know, it meant a lot, and people were moving forward as generations move on in time, and they're not in a position where they were ever exposed to that. They're not going to know the difference.
Yeah, and it makes you wonder because it seems like intellectually you're moving backwards. Yeah, the technology is moving forward, but then your skill level and your skill level is going back, and your intellect is going back. To me, it seems like that's what's happening. But
yeah, we are regressing.
Yeah. But anyway,
as a species,
I think we beat that
horse. But anyway,
horse.
yeah, I know that horse is hurting. So, any thoughts? Any further comments on that? Feel free to post your thoughts in the comment section down below. Please do give the video a thumbs up if you got where we're coming from. Share it if you can. Subscribe if you knew all that good stuff. Check out some of our other videos if you are new. We do more than gripe. We're primarily a nostalgia channel, but every once in a while we have a little topic of discussion like this. And if that's it, then what more can we say? But thanks for watching, and we will see you again soon.